and I'm gonna call this one. I'm just gonna jump in with the title: Colors, the roller coaster of hip hop. Yeah, colors, the roller coaster of hip hop. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. I got another, you know what I mean? It's I jump on and I just create classics. That's how I do. This is going to be a masterpiece right here. I got a special show. I mean, program set up for y'all today. You know, I call mine program. I don't call them shows or broadcast or everybody got their own niche. And I let y'all do y'all niche. You know what I mean? Program is gonna be my niche because what I like to do is called computer science. Well, that's what it was called back in the day. Now it's called science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Well, actually, it's called they change it, whatever they want to call it. AI or whatever, right? But it's all mathematics. In the end, it's all mathematics. So I mean, it is what it is. So I'm still on chapter 1, which is what is chapter 1 again? I don't forgot because it's elementary logic. Elementary logic is the first chapter. As I take a sip of my cafe. Excuse me on that too. But I'm geared more towards game theory, and I'm trying to get to game theory, group theory, and then this concept or idea called color theory. Now, that's why I kind of had to go with today's shows being colors. That's an old movie back in the day about the gang life versus the cops, and many hip hop artists consider that a hip hop movie. Like that, therein is where you get the hip hop genres, right? Whether it's music, movies, what else do you have? Art, that's the culture. What the culture is what the genre is, that that kind of media that we like as being a hip hopper. I also consider myself a gamer. You know what I mean? So I am a part of the gaming community, and I'm not sharing any gaming community today. I shared some yesterday. Today I'm going to share, like I said, the roller coasters. It's the summertime, and yeah, Volo got an itch to get on a roller coaster. It's been a while. I didn't get on one last year, but the year before me and my son snuck off and we went to Hershey Park, and they had a new roller coaster called the Wildcat. Woo, that thing right there was next level. So those are the kind of videos that I also want to make too. I want to share videos of me and him getting on a roller coaster. So I am going to share a little bit of Fill the Air today. It's going to be a fair use thing again. Just a snippet of them getting on. I figured I'd show them riding 2 roller coasters. One in DC, which is the Six Flags Great America. They're going to get on Superman. And then Six Flags Great Adventure, they're going to get on the Devils, something. They'll explain all of that. Those 2 parks? Because yes, I would like to go to Great America because they're closing that Six Flags down. So it was one that I drove past several times and always like, hey, I need to go there and check it out to do my kind of tour thing. And the people that I'm sharing is a family, and they just go on tour, and the videos that I see is a father and his daughter, and then I see the one with the daughter. I don't know if that was the mom, but they go on tour and they get on roller coasters across the nation, it looks like. And some of them are old, and so it just looks like it's their back catalog. But I'm going to share it and click a link in the description area. Go over there, check it out. It's one of the things that the AI on the computer recognizes that I like roller coasters, so it promotes it to me. Say, hey, check this person out, check this person out. So I saw their videos, I liked it, I subscribed, and keep it moving. But I really, y'all know how I feel about a family doing family things together, especially like a father and daughter, which is dope. And therein is the colors thing, because we know that they're a light shade, you know, and how we look at colors and white versus black and yada yada. And that, I think that movie Colors was mostly Hispanics, warfare and things that I might only have seen that movie once. Matter of fact, I'm trying to go through the Rolodex and remember it. I've always been like a big Spike Lee fan, so I've seen not all of his movies, but I would say the six major ones. But we'll go over that one day. I do like the Hughes brothers, and the other guys. I'm going blank on my man that passed away, Boys in the Hood. Which y'all know who I'm talking about. But I don't want to elaborate on movies too much today. I'm actually going to talk about the adult, because that's the yang. Like the yin is me and my son playing a video game together. So that was the last episode. I shared him playing a couple video games that's on my phone, and I downloaded some more that I might share during this broadcast, because this is coming off of my phone right here, where it's the lost console war, or the lost, who lost the console war. So this is another page or video that they sent me. I just snapped it, and y'all know who I like. I'm Nintendo number one, and then Apple, but Apple's not considered a console. But it's Apple TV is pretty much a console. It's a console box or whatever. And I would be nice. It would be cool if Nintendo for the Switch created something similar, where they had a box, and then your Switch connects directly to the box, because you can go switch to switch though. So that is kind of something that I've been hey, they need to really utilize that connectivity between two switches to create that Wii U again, Wii U, because the Wii U is my all-time favorite console, even though it's the worst selling Nintendo console. Well, no, I'm sure the Virtual Boy probably sold less, but y'all know I don't care about how the total amount sold. Like the Nintendo Switch is 140 or something like that, and the PlayStation 2 is 150. So one of my goals, or me and my son, that we want to do is, hey, go out and get a Switch. Get a Switch 1. We want to get it. We want it to be the all-time selling console. There's no hate on PlayStation. I got a PlayStation 3 right here. I'm gonna fix it and get back to building my PlayStation library. The boy got a PlayStation 5. Mom's spoiling him to death, but it is what it is. It's life, and it's a beautiful thing. And of course, I got to start off with the first commandment again: love God. Make sure y'all loving God. All that hate and that's going on, because it's like, yes, it's the console wars, but the goal was always to own all three of them. So my number one is, you know what I'm saying, to be for real. So my number one is the Nintendo Switch. My number two is Apple, and then my number three is actually PC. That's kind of Xbox. That's why I never really consider myself buying an Xbox. Like, why would I do that if I'm a PC gamer? If I can buy a PC, hook it up, and play most of my Xbox games on the PC. So even when this Grand Theft Auto 6 is everybody's getting hype about, it's like, all right, it's only coming out on the PlayStation and Xbox at first. It's like, all right, but it has to eventually come to PC, and I'll wait till then, and then I can always boost up my PC to be better than the PlayStation, whatever the highest PlayStation or the highest Xbox. How much you want to invest in it. Then the number four would be probably, no, I do want to do the hobby thing. So my fourth one would be the Raspberry Pi. I want to get the latest one. I got a 3, but I do want to get a 5 or whatever number they're up to, just to try to catch up with that too. And then PlayStation, but I got a PlayStation 3. I've been looking at getting a refurbished PlayStation 4, because couple games that I've been looking at on there, but too many games, not enough time to play it, which is the overall, and of course motherhood doesn't want us playing games all day. That's a whole nother debate for another day, right? And there it is. Let's see here. So we're gonna go straight into this video. Check it out. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share. and it says it's going to be a little bit of roller coaster fun. Okay, so we're going to have fun a little bit on the roller coaster. I'll be right back. Okay.
Closures today. I think this is going to make magic. So, expecting the worst. Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth closed. Nobody back here. That's nice. This is going to be a joke. Oh, Superman is running. I hear it. Okay, there we go. Superman Ride of Steel. That behind it is the Batwing. Okay, you ready for this? Yeah. Looks open. Well, literally, first people back here. God, that was so good.
You were flying.
That was so.
Like
I said to get right back in line. Yeah. It's single train ops. So, but once again, it's not busy here. I think we're gonna get right back in line and do that again. That was so good. Batwing opens at 12.
Well, it might.
It might.
You didn't promise that.
11:17. I said we do that again. That was.
There it is. You know. Cool video, man. I love that. I love to see that. I love to see a father and a daughter doing things like that. Something that me and my son want to do. Like I do already have some on my YouTube page. Go back and check my back catalog where we go to Hershey Park was our main one. I don't know if I have much video of us going to Disney World because we did do the Disney World thing several times, twice. But we did a lot of Hershey Park, and our goals is to go to these because they're shutting down the park. Cedar Fair owns Six Flags now, and that park that they at where that Superman is at, that they just rode. They were saying that it's the best ride there. It looks alright. It don't look like it's next level like that. It looks on the same vein as Nitro and Candemonium a little bit, but like Nitro and Candemonium are hypers. Superman looks like it's more, and they have different codes. And I'm gonna try to learn all my roller coaster jargons and stuff like that, so I can be just as geeked out as they are, but enjoying, just flying and enjoying life, because nothing beats a good amusement park, a good beach. Beaches usually have like little roller coasters and stuff like that, or little, water gun try to be the first one to pop a balloon game kind of a things. Those are things that I like. Those are videos that I like to see more so than that garbage rap that they like to promote. They promote a lot of garbage rap, a lot of false lies and stuff like that, like politics. They politics promotes a lot of lies. In fact, that's where I'm kind of turned because I'm gonna share some ABL right now. ABL is like the number one black conservative, right? And so he's considered a quote unquote, raccoon, right? And it's like, as soon as I say that, then the algorithm hears me and it's like, well, is he talking about the animal or is he talking bad about black people? And then it attacks me. Even if I say, the white family that we just watched, it attacks that as like he's talking bad about, why he's trying to separate, and it's like, because the movement is still diversity, as opposed to, hey, I'm a foundational Black American. But once I say that, Then Africans, even Africans, they'll attack it and they'll call me radical and they do the same thing with ABL. You know what I mean? Even though he's just presenting the facts or on politics, and I sit back and on the from a distance and say that's what they do. They politicize everything. So I'm a big Eagles fan. The Eagles won the Super Bowl in front of Trump, and they went to the White House, but the quarterback didn't go. So now it's there's issues between the quarterback and the running back, and the running back is playing golf with them, and since he's the like, come on, stop that. Y'all got to stop that sometimes. Y'all completely out of control, and that kind of mentality is very destructive to the family. To the point of me even saying that 70% of black children grew up in single-parented homes gets misunderstood. Me saying 70% of Republicans are actually Democrats gets misunderstood. So when I'm talking bad about Democrats in general, we're talking, or even ABL is about to talk about Democrats in general. He's actually also talking about 70% of the Republicans. That he's letting you know, he's a conservative. He's labeled himself as a Republican, but he understands that there's a lot of people in his party that's actually doing the same things or want to do the same things that policy-wise that goes against loving God. It's just keeping it 100. A conservative is a person that wants to, hey, this is my Bible, this is my Constitution, and this is my gun. This is my land, right? But as soon as Foundation of Black Americans say, hey, we the original people of this land, this is our land, it goes, no, you're Africa, go back to Africa. It's quick to dismiss us as being something else than what we're saying our lineage is. So I'm just keeping it 100. But I'm gonna share some ABL. ABL is much hated in that white liberal or whatever community, the hidden people. I like to call them the hidden. That's a movie right there, The Hidden. Ooh, I gotta have to look that one up. But there's a lot of movies, even Sinners. I want to see it, but they presented it at a bad time. Like, why would you present a movie about all black people being sinners for Easter? Right? All they're doing is adding to that's a movie for Halloween, right? So we're supposed to go along with the roller coaster of life and the colors and so the darker times is Halloween. That's when that movie supposed to come out. That's supposed to be the thriller of the Halloweens, or the all-time thriller of all time. It would have had an opportunity to do so. But they had to put it up against, Marvel, I guess, or Captain African American in order to, say that, here's the black movies, they're not doing good. They just put it out at a bad time. But we're going to check it out. We'll talk more about that too later on too. But here's the ABL. I'm not be rapping too much. I want to get this through. I don't want to be here for too long. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The question lots of people ask you, Mr. President, did you leave it too late? Should you have withdrawn earlier, given someone else a bigger chance?
I don't think it would have mattered.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former President Joe Biden's very first interview ever since he has left office. Now, a lot of what he said in this interview shows a certain level of accountability. He understands who he is, and he understands who the Democratic Party is, and he understands who Trump is. Now, a lot of his colleagues, people that will go on TV and defend him, told straight up lies, talking about, oh no, I didn't see any decline. He was perfectly fine. It's like, really? Listen, we're all human beings and we can't live forever. This guy's 82, 83 years old, and he looks every bit of his age. He sounds every bit of his age. When he was younger, he had a lot more vim and vigor. He was a lot sharper. He wasn't my cup of tea when it comes to politics, but at least he was mentally still there. Like Bernie Sanders, older than Joe Biden, still mentally there. The politics are real bad, terrible, awful, but at least he's still there mentally. Joe Biden, however, wasn't really there. And whether he dropped out or not wasn't gonna make a big difference. And he has acknowledged that. Now, before I get into that video, let's go back a little bit and look at some of his defenders talking about, oh, he sounded fine. It's all good. There's no problem. Let's start with Miss Jasmine Crockett. Then we're going to go to Jen Psaki. Then we're going to go to what Joe Biden said. And of course, this video, the other video, and everything else will be in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Shelby left a career in marketing to follow her.
Yeah, you know, that's all I had to share. I mean, because then he's going into Jasmine Crockett. It's like I don't even like sharing it anymore. You know, Jasmine Crockett, you know, not like us. Not like us. Like she's down with the culture, but she's paid for. She already done sold us out. All right, that's why she speaks with ignorance instead of intellect, and they pay her to do that. And then on the flip side, when you have good fathers that speak with intellect, or hey, we're trying to step up in the community, being the teachers, the bakers, the you know what I mean, the entrepreneurs, and it's hey, we're gonna build together, father and son or daughter, right? It's that gets turned down, but then they turn up. What's his name? Y'all know the football player. It's either like Shannon Sharp, like example, right? They turn up Shannon Sharp with a little girl. Hence the PDF files, you know, where I'm showing in the background, but look in their community. And I'm gonna share another video of the father and daughter getting on the ride at Great Adventure. Where I would like to go to. So I would like to go to both parks, even Dorney Park, because they're threatening to close either Dorney Park or Great Adventure. They might close another, you know, but they're going to definitely close America, Six Flags America. But there's still some down south that I want to go to. It would be great if I can go to the original Disney World, go out to California. You know what I mean? These are things that I, you know, would like to have on my quote unquote bucket list. But when we were in a society of defund the fatherhood and turn up the cash for the women, which is what DEI policies did, you cause conflict. So even well, I'm gonna share this video right here real quick. I'm starting to get irritated. I need to see a roller coaster.
Right there. And it looks like right there might be Jersey Devil. Welcome to the Pine Barrens, home of the Jersey Devil. So the RMC Raptors are single file trains, and they're crazy. I've been looking forward to this. We almost got on the one in Magic Mountain, but we didn't have time. We're going time. There it goes. It's a single rail coaster. Right, look at that. Look at that stall. That's amazing. Jersey Devil coaster. Okay, I gotta go get a locker. That's great. Yeah. Let's go. So no phones, no bags. He said for this, Nitro, and something else. So we'll go check it out.
And El Toro.
El Toro. El Toro?
Yeah, he
Oh,
said El
good.
Toro.
we did talk about everything, so we had to put my phone in a locker. So we just rode Jersey Devil 2 times. Literally, we were the only people on the train both times. We never left the station. Guys like, yeah, ride again.
Yeah.
Amazing. That single rail was the coolest thing I think we've ever done.
Yeah. I mean, it was like you turn and then
It was just whippy and amazing. Then we got right there, back-to-back rides on Nitro, single train ops too. So we got lucky, got here early. I love Candemonium. This blows Candemonium away.
That ride was supposed to be like a huge line. There was no line, so we rode it twice.
Yeah, the girl's like, you want to go again? Go again. So we were like, oh, we'll go again. So we got 2 rides on Jersey Devil, 2 rides on Nitro, and it's not even 11 o'clock yet. We are doing so good. We're going to head into the DC area and check.
And I love that video. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that. You know, you don't see that. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing with 70% of the black family children are growing up in single parent homes. So unless the father is in their lives like that, and that shouldn't be the case. And then when you look at the other demographics, white, Asian, you're looking at 30 to as low as 20% of their children are growing up in single parent homes. Now, does that mean that a man can have 2 family members but be the owner of both houses? Hence, he's yes, that's probably more with the wealth gap that we have. So yes, then you have that kind of that issue, that situation, because black home ownership is on the low, and they're stripping black people from their homes. It's called gentrification, and because it's they rather you be in the apartment and rent as opposed to paying towards ownership. Same with businesses. They'd rather you be the employee instead of the employer. There it is. It's not hard to understand. It's basic mathematics. Think of that Zelda again. And we'll talk more about that later on too. I do want both of those games. But one day. But so many other things to do, and we have to budget and all this other stuff. But once you start talking about budgeting and stuff, now you're talking about socioeconomics. You're talking about, us trying to budget and what is fraud, waste, and abuse, and who determines what is and what isn't waste, fraud, and abuse, and right. That's the current dilemma that we in. So but once you start blaming one side of the party, you know what I mean? Or what they do is they put fake leaders in front of us. So the NAACP is a fake leadership organization. It is not for foundational black Americans. It's for everybody. Al Sharpton has similar speaks, and now I'm pointing the finger. Jasmine Crockett is who ABL was talking about. So I'm gonna share a little bit of DeAndre Detroit HD. He's MIA right now. He made a video. He's been going through it. Like a lot of black men are going through it because we're still under DEI conditionings. The companies are still, just because they, Trump said, he took it out of the government. Apple even still uses DEI practices. So it is more so, hey, we're going to, it works for us, so we're going to, keep doing it. So they're doing it, but it is showing favoritism to, check boxes. It's not necessarily, your skills. So a lot of people with skills are out here, and we have to start our businesses, but we're starting from ground zero. Just like me making these little videos. It's me starting again from ground zero. I think I'm at 303 videos. So I guess my goal should be at least try to get 500 videos by the end of the year. if I can get to 500 videos by the end of the year, then I've accomplished something and maybe 100 subscribers. But you know, you're fighting the algorithm. You know what I mean? You're fighting people wanting to give your attention to what you're trying to present. I'm not trying to present their ignorance. I'm trying to present truth. I'm trying to present love. I'm trying to present courage. That's why I call this Colors, the roller coaster of hip hop. I'm all about hip hop being an American culture created by the children of the 1960 civil rights movement. So DeAndre is my he might got me by a couple years, like 2 or 3 years. I think he said his age. Oh no, he's almost 60, so he got me by like a good 5 years. And you know, I mean, we have common interest. He knows the hip hop culture, right? The 70s. He knows it. My pops knows it. You know, that's why pops listen to what I have to say, and my son knows that I know it. So I'm talking about, you know, my list. These are my rappers. These are my lyrics. You know, the hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop or rockin' to the bang bang boogie, the up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie they beat, right? The Sugar Hill, the originals, and we do recognize that came from the 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, it goes way back, and we just sharing that continuous culture. That's why foundational Black Americans is the foundation of hip hop, right? It's not to exclude Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, colors. You know what I mean? It's y'all included, but we see that y'all with us, right? It's hard to be for something that you're being pushed to the back. So I'm with, you know, making America great again, because this is my land. So I would like to make my country better again. It's when you're dealing with people that side eye and they act like they for you, but actually they're against you. That's where I'm introducing the for, with, or against. And y'all, a lot of y'all telling yourselves, because all y'all want to do is be ignorant to be ignorant, and it's corny. So as soon as I say the first commandment is love God, you're already going to tell on yourself. It is that easy. And I'm telling you that you're going to tell yourself. Because then your understanding becomes either you're with God or without God. There it is. So this right here is DeAndre. He's missing in action. Is based upon Al Sharpton's appearance on the Breakfast Club. See, what they do is Al Sharpton will go on a show like the Breakfast Club, act like he's the man in the black community, but everybody in the black community knows he's a simp. He's a pimp simp. He's a fake pimp simp, and he's not well liked. But then the congregation, which happens in a lot of these churches, are following the pimp simp. Like his words is, and it's usually on the Democratic side of the table, and that includes 70% of the Republican side. We understand that, right? So all we can do is sit on the sidelines, be independent, pledge yourself to Foundation of Black Americans if you like. You know what I mean? You can pledge whatever you want to pledge, but we're going to see whether or not you for, with, or against us easily. Like, I'm telling you how easy it is to be trustworthy and see those that don't trust in the issues that they have in their lives. But we building a nation over here, and I'm looking for DeAndre, but he's going to talk about Al Sharpton, but he's going to be cutting his tape because the Breakfast Club, they copyright claim. Like, if you share their thing, they'll copyright claim your thing. Even though you say fair use 19, this is for educational purposes, yada yada, right? Even sharing their things in the description, they're going to copyright claim you're using our material. Our material is A++ or whatever, but basically they just don't like what you're commenting about them. You know what I mean? Because then you're calling Charlemagne the dog instead of, you know what I mean, without. he's without God. He's an anti-God. But you know, there it is. So I'm gonna drop this one, and then that'll be it, and I'll talk to y'all later. You know, is this it? There it is.
You know, he gets in front of the microphone and he gets to talking, but then he reveals things about himself because he was one of the ones that took $500,000 for Kamala Harris for a softball interview. He's the one that's been stepping out front, leading certain protests and acting as if he's a representative for the black community or that he's some type of leader that we have given consent to advocate for us, as if we don't know his history. You know, his history of race hustling, race baiting, manipulation. But today he goes on the Breakfast Club and gets in front of Charlemagne, who is duplicitous to say the least. Charlemagne says whatever script they give him. But today they got to talking about things that are like some black people need to hear. I'm going to point out a specific part because they're telling you still to support the Democratic Party, even though the Democratic Party has betrayed the interest of black Americans since their inception. Now, why do I say that? We're gonna talk about how Joe Biden pardoned everybody in his family, Liz Cheney and everybody, but didn't pardon any of his black supporters who he had on the front line in his lawfare against Trump. You didn't hear him pardon Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, none of the other ones that participated in these things that are being investigated now. But he pardoned his family and a lot of others. But no black people. And I want you to hear out of Al Sharpton's mouth exactly what happened from this Democratic so-called leadership for black people. Listen what he's finna say. Now this is for fair usage, for education, commentary under the 1976 Copyright Act. Let's begin. When he said you need the people for flash, because they're not going to really be there, he's low-key talking about Jasmine Crockett and AOC. They're the flash, while Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them hold the keys. But he's going to enlighten you to even more of the nefariousness of the Democratic Party. Let's continue to listen.
Love him, hate him, whatever.
Now think about that. But he's still asking you to be a part of a party to where you still are segregated and not respected or appreciated. He said he went and asked for him to pardon Jesse Jackson's son. He said no. They wanted him to pardon Kwame Kilpatrick. He said no. Biden didn't pardon anybody except his own family and white people that supported him. He did nothing for black people. Remember that he's Jim Crow Joe. Al Sharpton is telling the truth right now. For once. I think he's showing you how just because they came at Eric Adams, now he's not willing to say that he was going to back him if he runs again, even though him and Eric Adams have been friends out there in New York. See, these liberals, they've gotten so bold that they say the quiet part out loud. They get in front of you and they show you how their politics and their grasp for power is more important than any policies that may help or benefit the people. They're still trying to use fear-mongering with Social Security and things of that nature. And they're lying about that. This is interesting that Al Sharpton would get out there and say the things that he's saying because he knows he has no place on the conservative side. So maybe he's just running some type of extortion on the Democrats. I'm going to keep talking and running you down unless you give me some position or some type of compensation to speak highly of you. Sharpton is shrewd and sneaky. He said that the flashy Democrats wasn't going to be around, the ALCs, the Jasmine Crockett's. That's what he's hinting at. And he says, even though he knows Trump will not work with him because Trump knows that he's a snake. You know what I mean? He told you Trump came to some of his conventions. He didn't want to tell you that Trump had donated money to him in the past. But now he's saying if there are those on the Democratic side who can work with Trump, they need to work with Trump, because how are you going to get anything done for your constituents? See, this we just hate Trump and we're going to stop everything he is trying to implement is only going to hurt the people, because it's several states, because of their position on illegal immigration, they're getting denied federal funding. Who does that hurt? It hurts all the citizens. So you got to think Al Sharpton is angling and trying to save himself because he sees the Democratic Party as collapsing.
I mean, DeAndre, his last video, he was at a shelter, but he was in his car, so he might be living out of his car. You know what I mean? I need to see my brother again. Like that was at his kind of his height, where he introduced me to this kind of concept of share a little bit of it, video of someone else, and comment on it if it's whatever the talk is of the time or whatever. So that's what he did. He would share some, but then they attacked him, his page, because the Breakfast Club doesn't want you talking bad about Charlemagne or Al Sharpton, right? Because they are the quote unquote leaders of the hip hop community. They're not. True hip hop is everybody. You can go see Beanie Siegel down at the food cart and he'll tell you about it, right? He'll tell you the truth about Charlemagne. Because the last time we saw a video of him being on that show, he told me it's a dangerous game you playing, yo. You taking the money to choose a side, and that system is so corrupt. It's going to show favoritism to itself, and that's what we're asking for, yo. All of that just happened to us because of you see that Joe Biden had mental health issues that he needed to take care of more so than being the president of the United States. So he wasn't the one running the country. When he said just open up the flag, come to America, someone was puppeteering him, and we all know the issues with that. And I'll share some more of more politics on that too, because TD does a real good job showing how Barack Obama, how he was during his presidency, and how he was against illegals coming here. For that to just completely switch to what Biden did, and then it was hey, Kamala, you're in charge now, or whatever. Like, and Kamala should have spoke up. That's how we know we can't trust her. She didn't speak up to that fact, because they still acting like the Jasmine Crockett's. Kamala might be going through. They might be silencing her because she has to speak against it as well, in order to gain popularity with most of the nation. Most of the nation is saying, yo, we can't. No, y'all can't reopen those gates. No, y'all. No, we need to fix how, what I mean, and then be on one side of the prices of everything is going up, and it's mostly luxury stuff, like the video games and stuff like that. It's like, no, son, we can't. Don't worry about that Nintendo 2 right now. We're gonna work on what we have right now. We're gonna fix up our current Nintendos, your PlayStations, we can even play games on our Apple devices. So that was the purpose of my last video. Hey, Apple device, here's 3 games. What was the 3 games? Space Invaders, which is a classic. Doom, which is a classic. And I can't remember. Oh, Castlevania, which is a side-scrolling. Like, he's not really used to that. So he enjoyed that probably the most. This one, and I'm trying to separate YouTube. I'm gonna keep that exclusively on YouTube. This one I'm just dropping it on Facebook just to, hey, here's another video. This is what I'm doing over here on YouTube, because videos don't do as well on Facebook unless they like little reels, little quick ones, videos like this where it's archived and 40 minutes. Nah, people ain't really interested in that. So, but I'm figuring out the game, and I'm figuring out how to distribute it and all that good stuff. But hit the like button, subscribe, share. Y'all have a good day. Love God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop life, love one. That's God is love. Hip hop is life. Time is holy. You cherish the day, right? Money, if y'all haven't learned yet, is nothing more than the fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist, because hip hop is the art of making the most out of life. You want to call it economics? Call it economics, but y'all need to start peeping the game. Socioeconomics, as a favoritism for only white people, is the most destructive thing to foundational black Americans on the planet. And that's just keeping it 100, because only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Come from him. And black fatherhood is being excluded from that conversation, because 70% of the children are growing up in single-parented homes because of the Democratic Party, and 70% of Republicans, since 70% of Republicans are Democrats, we can't trust them either. So that's why we're building our own independent, and either you're for, with, or against us. And trust me, we know the difference.